au sayang pakiwadu sangavulu wa vaka vanga sinivuli au musuka tuna nangwila wa FNPF nga no saba ka dengu kina dengu ya tili ka liwa sangavulu kaono may nang momento ay sayang pakiwadu sangavulu kalima na nungu tawra chika na ila musuki ya FNPF kilabia una kena binaka wa ambula tumaikine nandoa na ngaunang balaw di na nga ni sabi sa umi bakabula nangaunang sa tawra saraw tiyo-tiyo na ila bayani sa may batur sa ngabulu sama lumulumun ng bula sa angkase sara sa rin nakaurawata sa bakani warin dotal na ba sos nila po may kay may biyaw ngwa na FNPF sarangaw sa ambula tiyo kine nangaunang ko.
Santo na mi bukalihu na ilaw ni penseni au taurati ko na bibula sasya na bi madorwa sasya ni na iwure ni lavo penseni na bibula sa rato ko kinanang bula kaya karabin ta sama itu na kor karabin tu na itabi ni banua katakan ko na sulya sana pinakatina 5 bulan dola ana banua sabi bukin na penseni na lotu na soli baka misnari ana bonwa sa bebu kina na penseni
nakakiri saranga erawatangangwa ni labo ni provident fund obulie kina na kulango na imbe na nitokana nakakiri baka bupale na fridge nangu endo na nangu deep wa bulie kina na provident fund ni labo ni provident fund o sa sinraw tatto nila kaya bakambe ka wala nila ni provident fund o tin kay taon o sa atto nga bakang doy bay labo ni provident fund ikaw chuchong goy taon o bondo mo to kakir o kaniya kinantoni kaniya chukura nakadaw kaya mni nangwani o kanira kana chumboy na labo ni provident fund
kaya mga magaltang alam na kan pinsen buwan global sinabing garabin sana tutug ni quality sana tutug ko balatana nito mula magagawa.
Ikianda kunila mo nakanta mo rumoda tunde chik mo musuka na numilabon do numilabon masya FNPF meron yo demo mai mandalang bulak to kina.
Okay kan na option binakantuan tuan mendatakawa tapi tanong tayo laban na bukan penseni na basic na matak e ni rorong do rong tu weekenda kana daw tu ni sasya kanila ni matentu sa FNPF sa siya nga na ilabo. Iya, nangaw na kima mi baka dengo may kina, kima mi binta ni mami lamay may pension. Merda may go, siyenti na tiko nga. Nabi ilalat ya, katabi kima mi na FNPF, yan na bukan pension.
Preserved account versus general account. All FNPF members' accounts are split into two, a preserved account and a general account. The preserved account reserves 70% of a member's total balance, which can only be accessed at retirement or earlier if you are purchasing or building your first home. The general account is made up of 30% of a member's total balance and caters for pre-retirement benefits such as education, medical, housing, unemployment and funeral withdrawals. It can also be accessed during natural disasters. Previously, members could access up to 2/3 of their total balance. This is why some members now have a low FNPF balance because they have withdrawn their funds too frequently. With the 70-30 split, we are now able to preserve members' funds so that they can have a meaningful income when they reach the age of 55. This is a positive outcome of the FNPF reform. Remember, any withdrawal decreases your balance and lessens the chances for you to apply for further withdrawals, leaving you with less funds for your retirement. The FNPF, securing your future. Why is your FNPF savings important? Your FNPF savings is important to your financial security in retirement. Once you start earning an income, a portion of it is set aside for your retirement savings. As the custodian of your funds, the FNPF has to ensure that your savings are not only kept for your retirement, but that it earns interest while you're still working, helping grow your savings for your future. Putting away money for tomorrow gives you peace of mind and financial independence. This is the key to a better life during retirement. You can also withdraw some of your FNPF to help you with housing, education, funeral, unemployment, medical and approved natural disaster schemes. These are the pre-retirement benefits. When you reach the age of 55, you have the choice to either fully withdraw or choose one of our retirement products. The FNPF, securing your future.
She knows that education will help achieve that, so she pays additional contributions to FNPF to save up for tertiary education fees. Apete works in Suva and supports his parents in the village. He wishes to build his own home, so he pays additional contributions to help him achieve this dream. FNPF's additional contributions helps you invest in short-term goals while saving for retirement. Contribute more, grow your savings and achieve your goals. FNPF, securing your future.
Retirement. We'll all get there one day. With FNPF's new retirement product, the Drawdown Account, you can plan for an enjoyable and sustainable retirement. The Drawdown Account is a tax-free investment and account holders receive a monthly income, one partial withdrawal a year, receive interest at the end of the financial year, amongst other benefits. For more information, log on to our website www.myfnpf.com.fj. FNPF, securing your future.
We work hard for our money, and because of that, now more than ever, belonging to the Fiji National Provident Fund is reassuring. Along with hundreds of thousands of Fijians, we know that our money invested is for us and us alone, growing our retirement funds in ways we could never do on our own. FNPF is securing our future, our dreams, and that's why we know we're all in good hands. FNPF, securing your future.
Moli kumbu o sayang bakili masanga bulu kadiwa turangan ni nambau diwa natikina omboretu nasana baturang hotel di kita kami pensiun yang balatan na maramana tinang ko kwenta lang ay pensiun ando na ipakasal Savusavu biau meu nano manasingan no ko pagdingon sana ultimate na ilaw sana ultimate na kakadak yung bumbita tuwendo na ilaw ko meron yung pension kina mapakati ko ay pension ti ko sa utiro sa ngabul kalima na baki ese pension ti ngang
Kali mbulaginaka eu nevango asariana ngir na tambua oniburi au sai mbaki wadu sanga bulu wa daka banga sini buli au sa musuga tuna ngila wa FNP afenanga no saba ka dengu kina dengu no tika liwa sanga bulu kaono mai nang do momenta ai sai mbaki lo sanga bulu kalima na nungu tawra chika na la musuga na FNP kilabia una kena binaka wa ambula tumekine na ndo na ngauna mbalaw di na ngani sabi sa mi bakabula e na ngauna go sa tawte sarau tiuti ko na ila bayangi sa mi ambaki sa ngabulu sa malumulumu ng bola sa ngase sara sa rin na kaurawata sa bakani warindo tal na bona sos nila ko men kay may biaw ngona FNPF sarngaw sa ambula tiba kine na ngauna go
santo na mi bukelebu na ilaw ni pensioni au tortiko na bibula sasaka na bi madorwa sasaka ni dona ibure ni lavo Pension yan na mula sa rauto ka kinanang bula. Kaya nang karabin na sama ito yan akor. Karabin ito na itabi ni Vanua. Katakang ko na sulya sana. Pinakatinahali mo sa nga bulan dola. Yan na Vanua sabi mo kina pension. Na loto. Na sulya ba kami sinari. Yan na Vanua sa mo kina na pension.
Nakakirisa nga. Rawatang angwa nila po ni Provident Fund. Huli kina na kulang ko, na himbe, na nitaw ka na nakakira baka bubali. Na fridge, endo na nang deep. Huli kina na Provident Fund, nila ni Provident Fund. O sa sinraw tato nila, kaya bakambe ka wala nila ni Provident Fund, o tin kay taon, o sa akto nga bakang doy ba. Laban ni Provident Fund, ikaw chuchong kay taon. O wanda mo to kakira. O kanya kinantoni, kanya chukura nakataw, kaya mo ninangwani. O kanila karachong boy, laban ni Provident Fund.
Pero malalta nga naglakan pinsen buang global, hindi pinagkakak. Sinabing garabi ni sana tubtub ni quality sana tubtub ko. Balata na nitong wala magagawa.
Ikianta, kung nila mo nakanta mo rumoga, tunde chik mo, musuka na may labon, doon may labon mo siya, FNPF, naroon yung din may, mandalang bulag tawakin.
O karikan. Na option vinakantuan tuan mentatakawa. Tapi tanong tayo laban na kung pension yan basic ni matak. E kung rorong to rong tu weekenda. Kaya nandaw to kunito ni sasya kanila laban ni matentu sa FNPF sasya kanon na ilabo. Iya, nangaw na kima mi baka dengo may kina kima mi bintan ni mami lamay may pension. Medam may go. Senti na tiko nga. Nabi lalat ya kakabi kima mi FNPF and avo kun pension.
Preserved account versus general account. All FNPF members' accounts are split into two, a preserved account and a general account. The preserved account reserves 70% of a member's total balance, which can only be accessed at retirement or earlier if you are purchasing or building your first home. The general account is made up of 30% of a member's total balance and caters for pre-retirement benefits such as education, medical, housing, unemployment and funeral withdrawals. It can also be accessed during natural disasters. Previously, members could access up to 2/3 of their total balance. This is why some members now have a low FNPF balance because they have withdrawn their funds too frequently. With the 70-30 split, we are now able to preserve members' funds so that they can have a meaningful income when they reach the age of 55. This is a positive outcome of the FNPF reform. Remember, any withdrawal decreases your balance and lessens the chances for you to apply for further withdrawals, leaving you with less funds for your retirement. The FNPF, securing your future. Why is your FNPF savings important? Your FNPF savings is important to your financial security in retirement. Once you start earning an income, a portion of it is set aside for your retirement savings. As the custodian of your funds, the FNPF has to ensure that your savings are not only kept for your retirement, but that it earns interest while you're still working, helping grow your medical and approved natural disaster schemes. These are the pre-retirement benefits. When you reach the age of 55, you have the choice to either fully withdraw or choose one of our retirement products. The FNPF, securing your future.
Before we do so, we'll just go over a few housekeeping rules. The washrooms, as you enter, is on your right, the gents and the ladies. In case of emergencies, the exit is behind you and on your left. In case of an emergency, please use the exit nearest to you. Mobile phones, we kindly request you keep your phones on silent or vibrate mode. We are also streaming this forum live on Facebook and YouTube, so please just be mindful if you move around. Also present are our friends from the Fiji Association of the Deaf. They are our sign language interpreters for the benefit of those who may be here or watching but are hearing impaired. Please ensure that you have registered and have a forum pack with you. The pack contains information and materials that will guide you in today's forum, including a summary of our annual report 2022. There is also a feedback form in your forum pack. Please complete the form at the end of the forum and hand it back to one of our staff. We will give you a light meal pack as a gesture of appreciation for attending today's forum. Thank you. To formally begin our forum this morning, we request that we bow our heads in prayer. Let's pray. Our Father in heaven, we bow our heads before you this morning in prayer to firstly thank you. Thank you for the breath of life. We thank you for bringing us safely to Yaroi village this morning to sit and discuss matters that are important to us all. We ask you, Almighty, to please give us a listening ear. Please give us insight. Please give us patience and understanding. We commit our discussions to you, and we ask that you please bless our efforts. We ask that you please forgive us for our shortcomings, and this prayer we offer in the name of our King and Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the CEO, executives, and the FNPF team that is present here this morning, it gives me great pleasure to welcome you to the FNPF Annual Member Forum. We also welcome those tuning in via live stream on our official Facebook page in Fiji and abroad. If you are attending this forum for the first time, this is an event that takes place annually, where by law FNPF must conduct a forum with its members and present its financials for the previous financial year. We discuss key activities and future plans for our members, pensioners, and employers. It is also an important event because it gives you the opportunity to raise your concerns and have them discussed with our executives. So we hope you will make the best of this forum and ensure that you have all your issues addressed and all your questions answered. At the end of the session, you can also access any FNPF service. We have staff who are available to assist you with any queries that you may have. The program this morning will consist of our Chief Executive Officer, Mr. William Vondonevalu, presenting to you our highlights and financials for financial year 2022. Then we will have a question and answer session before we end today's forum. If you need anything, please let us know, and we have staff standing by to assist you. Ladies and gentlemen, without further delay, I will now invite our Chief Executive Officer, Mr. William Vondonevalu, for his official presentation. Naka.
Yani sa Bulubinaka, good morning, and you all ladies and gentlemen. It is good to be back in Savusavu. We were here last year and delighted to be here again. I also welcome our viewers tuning in from our live streaming coverage today. Firstly, we must always thank God Almighty for His grace and mercy in our lives, enabling us to be here this morning. God is good, and is good all the time. Yeah, the Members Forum is an event that the fund looks forward to, as it gives us the opportunity to engage with you, our members, our pensioners, and our employers. We completed our forum in Suva and in the West. We are here in Savusavu today, tomorrow in Lambasa, and we'll move on to the Garden Island in Taveuni next week. We always look forward to our annual forum. With this year being the 10th year that we have been conducting the Members Forum, just as we have been holding productive discussion with our stakeholders last week, I trust that today will be no different. We will take you through our current financial performance, our key activities, and then discuss some of our challenges. Our agenda, as it's shown on the slide, most of what I've shared with you today is also in our annual report summary that is available in a forum pack. At the conclusion of my presentation, then we'll open the question and answer session. The last year have been challenging for our members and business alike. We had to adjust to a pandemic that has altered our lifestyle and our routine. At the fund, we are most happy with our response. Despite enduring one of the most difficult periods this nation has ever faced, the FNPF has continued to provide assistance as best as it could have. The pandemic have demonstrated that nothing is ever certain and that our model and operation design must be more adaptable and sustainable. Although the operating climate continues to gradually improve, the FNPF team did its best to step up and deliver. At a glance, our financial 2022 financial as of 30th June 2022, the fund has a total asset of 8.7 billion, an increase of about 500 million or 6% growth from prior year. Our net income was 650.8 million, an increase of 107.3 million or 19.7% growth from the previous year. As a result, in the cut in contribution rate from 18% to 10%, collection was low at 395.2 million. The contribution rate was increased to 14% as of 1 January 2023. We are now pursuing our government to have the contribution rate fully restored as soon as practical. As at 30th June 2022, Members Fund in total amounted to 6.7 billion, an increase of 100 million from prior year or a growth of 2% despite the negative withdrawal for 2022. Net income available for net allocation. Our net increase in net asset, or the amount available for distribution during the year, was 600.5 million, an increase of 104 million or 21% increase from 2021. On interest credit to member, we are able to declare 6% interest in 2022, enable the fund to distribute 370 million to over 392,000 members' account. The growth in interest is related to the high return achieved from investment that have been strategically managed by FNPF. In the past 5 years, the fund has credited over 1.6 billion to members' account. On FNPF reserve, our solvency and investment reserve is what protects your fund. Solvency reserve is mandated by law under Section 32 of the FNPF, meaning the total value of our asset must always be above 110% of the value of our liability. The investment reserve is mandated under Section 32 of the FNPF Act that state the actuary may recommend a higher percentage. On return on investment, despite the significant COVID-19 payout during the year, FNPF was still able to achieve a growth in investment portfolio. The fund posted a 7.4% return on investment for 2022. Predominant component of investment return is the government bond interest. Bond rate decreased during the year, impacting current long-term yield, as well as a result of high liquidity in the financial system. Income and equity investment also contributed to a positive return during the year. From 2020, our return on investment have been positive and began to normalize as the economy has picked up post-COVID-19. On investment portfolio, our investment portfolio currently stands at 8.6 billion in 30th June 2022. The investment portfolio grew by 4.46 billion in 2014 to 8.6 billion in 2022. That is an overall growth of 93%. The diversification of investment portfolio is the most successful strategy investment in defense and growth asset. Benefit paid to members. In addition to COVID-19 unemployment system, the fund assisted members under normal withdrawal grounds, including unemployment. FNPF paid out a total of 467 million during the year, a decrease of 33.8 million from 2021. This can be attributed to normalizing of the unemployment withdrawal as members return to work. We have continued to pay out members as when they need, and most importantly, if they qualify under our requirement. The fund is administratively and financially capable to meet our commitment to our members. Our members, the end of June 2022, the fund had a total of 398,583 members. The breakdown in compulsory and voluntary and by gender, as you've seen on the screen, compulsory member, 214,536. Voluntary member is 12,242 members. And the male gender slightly has membership advantage over our female. On our pensioner, our total number of pensioners was 7,922 at the end of financial year 2022, with 52% being our male pensioners. Our pension take-up rate last year was 44.9% compared to 3.7% in 2021. On our employers, the total number of active employers was 7,732 in 2022. These are employers that paid the employee contribution at least once during the financial year. On our major activities during 2021, I will now go through the achievement for 2022. Supporting our members for COVID response for the first 6 months of 2022, we continue to provide COVID unemployment assistance to those members that were still affected. When the COVID assistance was introduced in 2022, 222 million have been paid from members' account and 186 million topped up by government. Total payment to date is 406 million. 3 initiatives were also rolled out by the fund to assist members who continue to face financial hardship as a result of COVID. These were the home loan mortgage assistance, the low account balance full withdrawal, the micro business assistance. Sustaining our digital focus was also a key activity in 2022. We enhanced the employer portal called Employer 2 and trialed this with selected employers. My FNPF app was enabled to accept submission of funeral and advice of death application. In collaboration with BSP, the fund implemented the Internet Payment Gateway IPG into my app application. This allows members to perform end-to-end digital transactions, as well as allowing payment of contribution and registration of new voluntary members. The fund back office processes continue to be automated in relation to the administration of members, pensioners, and employers. Our investments. Our key investment activity in 2022 were the completion of the Sheraton Fiji Resort refurbishment. This was a key milestone as was the opening of the resort. Sheraton Fiji Resort has now set a standard on Denarau, offering superior service and product. Westin Resort is currently closed and is undergoing renovation. We have completed the mock-up room for Westin, and the appointment of contractors will be completed soon. We also opened the Nandi My FNPF Retail Center to the public. A new FNPF office should be opening out of the FNPF Center in the coming financial year. Acquisition of 30.02 shares of Fiji Airways was a strategic investment to our national strategic asset, totaling 93.1 million. The Mbao Hospital, that is managed by Aspen Medical, will also open for operation, and we are delighted to see that is well underway in performing open heart surgeries. Before, heart surgery are normally done overseas, not done in Fiji. I would like to elaborate more on Fiji Airways and the Mbao Hospital investment, as I know these are topics of interest to some. There's also a case study in your annual report summary on page 16 on the Fiji Airways shares acquisition. With the FNPF being a long-term financial investor, this was an opportunity not to be missed. This investment adds value not only to the fund hotel portfolio, but also synergies and enabler to potential investment opportunity, such as medical, aged care tourism, sports tourism, and also commercial agriculture. This investment was considered on its own merit, and I can assure you that we have engaged professional, credible, and reputable firms with aviation expertise to undertake independent due diligence for the fund. Members will be able to earn dividend income from the growth in the value of FNPF's shares over time. This is in addition to interest income for the existing loan. To date, Fiji Airways has repaid 116.3 million in loan principal and 99.7 million in loan interest. As of 30th June 2022, total loan balance held with Fiji Airways was 226.5 million. Fiji Airways is a strategic asset for Fiji, and having strong airline is crucial to our tourism industry and an enabler to other investment opportunity, which I've stated before. Investment in healthcare. As for Healthcare Fiji, we are excited about this venture as it contributes towards improvement in health services and the facility for our members and the general public alike. It is also an enabler to other investment opportunities. Members are also going to benefit through dividend income from this project. There are delays in the provision of some of the services due to the impact of pandemic on the hospital supplies and resources. We are now looking into the construction of a cardio in Lautoka as a scope one of the project. To date, FNPF has invested 20.8 million to fund the operation of the Healthcare Fiji and Ba and Lautoka Hospital. Way forward now for our future plan. Understanding our challenges with a strategic theme of resetting, repositioning the fund to beyond. We still have many challenges ahead, both operational and financial. We need to clarify our role and find the balance between members' expectation and our core purpose in securing your future for meaningful retirement. We need to address the low balance members issue. We also need to ensure our withdrawal products are relevant. The fund needs to offer a variety of retirement products to suit different segments of our members. We must ensure the sustainability of our retirement product and also diversify our investment into local and global market. Reaffirming our purpose. The question then, what is our way forward? We are striving to affirm our purpose. We will improve in how we collect contribution and also invest. We want to be the best provider of financial advisor, We want to champion the preservation policy and help you save for meaningful retirement. We strive to develop and offer relevant product during the working life and in retirement. We protect your fund. FNPF will always ensure that member will share in what the funds gain and will never pass on the losses. To some super fund around the world, it is the members who bears the risk and the impact of losses it felt in balance being reduced. For FNPF, we are not allowed to do this, and that is an added protection to our members. Members' fund cannot be used as a collateral as per Section 94 of FNPF. We are here to protect your fund. By law, FNPF must comply with the legislative solvency requirement, which means the total value of our asset must at least be 110% of the value of our liability. That is Section 32 of FNPF. We also have other sound management mechanism in place, such as ongoing monthly solvency monitoring, annual actuarial solvency review, independent valuation of investment measures at fair value during audit, the application of internal accounting standard. Our current reserve is 1.7 billion, as I have also stated earlier. Ultimately, we would strive to ensure your retirement security. It has not been an easy year for all of us, but definitely we have come out better for the experience and therefore become resilient in the process. Your FNPF is safe and secure. Let no one convince you otherwise. So this brings me to the end of my presentation and update, and on behalf of the board, the management and the staff, thank you for your continued trust in us to manage your retirement fund. There is no such a happening on social media, so much happening on social media that is unverified information. I urge you to please reach out to FNPF if you need anything for any clarification. It would only be in your best interest rather than to rely on unreliable sources. Thank you again for your attendance this morning.
Thank you, CEO. We will now move into the next part of our forum, which is the question and answer portion. We kindly request our panelists if they could please take their seats. Thank you. I'll just introduce our panelists this morning. On my left, furthest to my left, is our Chief Operating Officer, Mr. Pravinesh Singh. In the middle is our General Manager Member Services, Mr. Alipate Wangairawai. And closest to me is our CEO, Mr. Williame Mondonaivalu. Before we begin, there's a few protocols for asking questions. If you want to ask a question, please raise your hand, and one of the gentlemen will bring you a mic. Before you ask your question, please state your name and whether you are a member, employer, or pensioner. And you may also ask in vernacular. We kindly request that there be no shouting. And if you are not comfortable to ask a question, you can also text us your question on number 9968163. If you are not comfortable in asking a question in the forum, you can kindly send your question via text to 9968163. Thank you. The floor is now open for questions.
Test. Hello. Okay. Probably just before we proceed, Timothy, I would probably just take this moment to sort of address the attendees in Fijian, just seeing that there's a predominance Itoke presence. Sa vetor na ngona bilango me wambula ni vikimni ni ure ni lele butiko sa tor na ngona bilango na bukuna na bukikito o sibe bukuna ndon lawa mi wagambula yani bulasia wa bina ga ni vikimni na numni ya mai wa lele ala mataka ni sini ko klani le butuna no mni ndui oso kito maro wale kito rida ni butu donga na lomni wale ko Balatango na kene ina kisaranga ni kito lago mai kito vina katame kito mai bagador na korobaturanga go balatani no kila ni na yanga weekenda na yanga talanga weekemuni ko ngona kito sator na ngone vina go na bagador taga ni to baga vina vinaka ena no muni tiko vale levu ena kani mara we kito ni ko me kito so mo na no muni taro da banga ni taronga Kula lewu na ngau ni rongo da lewu ni talo na batin tano sa na makete lewu na kau ni rongo da tu balata na tamata ni lau musuki ya sa ke na ngau na bina kango muni taronga kina na taro ni do tuwe ke muni marau ni sumi wa dondo ni ke bansa chu sarango dan do ni lawa ni tamata ni lau musuki muni rongo da sarama we kito na so na we kau ni do lama taro kin ko ngana toro bala la na ngona go mo ba kambule ni we ke muni o nuita kan ni na lewu na kau ni na mai hulida na yanga vike muni muni da we kala o na no muni va toro da teki na no muni matabu wale ba teki na no muni dui mbula ndundo ni mani ti kundu tu no go sala kala kasara mo ba mbula ni kina na matani sini ko sawaya na kenelew.
Thank you. The floor is open. Please feel free to ask any questions you have.
Tiga nunggu makatataru na dona doci ko nunggu komplain na bitu na matini ko nontuangan ini na silvesya namin na bagi kawasakan awa baka juga pa security may dona company kan security tahun ni na ronontolo chin kabitu me ado na ronontolo rusga bulu ei na ngono di komiki no ke litaro no ko FNPF ke tuntu me bio di mustiko io ese kan ni ado sare na ronontolo me ado kina ke sa taro ke undo tinge ndo sa ndo me na pamatala ke undo ke war katal tiko me ndo telmena sulla namban telefoni nunggu namba ingir juga ni sama ni ini masalah sama ni tahu jika nunggu tar pasangan ali nunggu tar nawali
laka toman da kerbe busut ke bakaya sangani matatai nani tulisan ni kemni usara kere kemni ni ambu lo taro listal mande verton ni tu lala isab nangona sawo tikin nontu vital noya se o nada wana kena isau mai sabsaw. Amen. Okay. Okay. Sandon kito kere me utingo me to na vital no me orto chungor to ne lala mai lambas chungo ilimo me to wala me to na wali ana no muni nani na wala Na inagisarangan dito dola ko may bangko na balislis may kitong merongo dan na dapat ni sotaw at alibon ngo naron dito po kana vital no may verto nito balislis we kito dona inaki ko ba do rikin na matanggali vital no bango may kito rongo da sarang may wado do ni wikim ni na dapat so na lenga so na dapat ko ni vital no meron kito wa binakatakan nito bengaran ngono binawe kito may kito na wa binatakin nito bengaran menak.
Itu kan bagi kita tu apply takan na withdraw na kan medical grounds. Dia gaitu ni ndo bakana lenga tu na no form. O na tal ti ndo no form go. Maka bingo bengeli lodge no office. Ren to be booked.
Vinaka, I think for non-Fijian speakers, the questions was on the member has an application for medical. In FNPF, there's grounds for medical withdrawal on the grounds that if someone is medically incapacitated, he or she, provided our medical board sits and makes a decision on the application, they can take their money out in full before they are 55. As long as our medical board, which consists of only doctors, makes a decision that it's a genuine case. So that gentleman has the form that has hopefully been filled in by the medical practitioner, and then we will receive that application and then we'll submit it to our medical board for their decision. And I think what's important to emphasize in terms of the medical withdrawal, the decision is not made by any staff of the FNPF. There's a separate board, there's a medical board that consists of about 8 to 10 specialists. They are specialists in their field, all medical doctors and professionals. So they will be the one that deliberates on this application. So they meet every month or fortnightly depending on the volume of applications that we receive. So none of the application is done by FNPF, and the final decision in terms of that withdrawal is basically theirs alone. It can never be upturned by anyone, including any of us here. That decision is final, the one that the medical board does. Nak.
Naka, Mr. Lingeri from Moilebu. I'm just following up, sir, in regards to the last forum. It was here, held in Savusavu last year. Our understanding is that you are going to work on it in 1 year. The relocation of FNPF office to the most central area of Savusavu town. That's one of the questions. I have 3. The second one is the investment. Yes, very much we've heard about investments of new buildings in different parts of the country. How about Vanuatu in the Northern Division? Can we have better facility for FNPF here? The other thing is, of retired citizens of Fiji, you need to be very much informed about retirement here by your staffs. If they have come over to withdraw everything or all their money that is invested into your organization, and then nothing, if you want to come back to invest, if they're re-employed after 5 years, if they can do that, we should be looking at senior citizens in this country who have invested throughout their working career, and you're only concentrating on new investors. Vinaka.
Thank you for those questions. I'll start off with the first question on the relocation of the Savusavu branch, and also shed some light on the other questions, and my colleagues will also join in answering the retirement questions and also on the retirement advisory and the options. The first one I do remember, I think we were in the church the other year where the similar question was raised by the gentleman on relocation towards the center of the Savusavu town, closer to the market, or the bus stand rather. In fact, we have been looking, and we have been aggressively looking. We've been talking to a number of landlords, and these include the likes of Chagan Lal, Dearam, Ravi Chand, and Mr. Shah. But we do not, Savusavu town is a small stretch of town, and it's very difficult to find a spot that would be ideal for FNPF branch, because we ideally would like to consider a place which is appropriate for our members. We cannot be located on the first floor. We need a space which is on the ground floor. And you know how cramped the place near the bus stand is. So we have in our forum in I think Suva, we met the special administrator. She said there is a building that has been done very close to the bus stand. So we've put in our expression, we've said, as soon as the space is available, FNPF is considering to take up a space for our members, because it has to be very close to the bus stand, so it's very convenient for the members. I know it's a bit of a walking distance to where we are, but we are looking. We're even considering properties up for sale, because we want to invest. We see the projects, Navi project coming up, we want to be here. I know there's potential here for our investments, and we are looking, because at the end of the year, we look for returns to pay back to our members. And opportunities like that are payable. So it's not like we haven't looked for buildings, we are, but we haven't found any suitable ones that we can easily relocate to. Obviously, I'll allow the CEO to answer the question on investment in the north, and then we'll take up the retirement question which has been posed.
Yeah, on investment, for us, if the price is right, we'll acquire. So we cannot buy above market. So there's a lot of sellers too intending to sell. But once they hear FNPF, they normally overprice. Then we won't buy at overpriced property. We'll buy when it's right. On the intention to invest in the north, we have started. We made offers to FSC to acquire their land in Labasa. We're considering other options to be here also. But on any investment decision, there's an alternative, $1 in Viti level or $1 in Luno level. The one that will give us the best return, that's the investment we'll do. So we're looking at this government look north policy as comments. That's our intention to be here first. And we're moving to the north soon.
Yeah, and the last question, which is retirement option, and on senior citizens, we haven't forgotten any of our retirees and senior citizens. We are thankful for your contribution and efforts. That's why FNPF is here today in such a position, and as alluded by CEO, on the strong and sound financial position of the fund. Obviously, our member education and advocacy team, that's a mobile team that moves around the country, and if you want them to come to the village, just meet one of our staff, and we'll organize a session for our MAA team to come to the village, so that you can be properly informed of the various pension option, the retirement option that the fund has, so that you can make an informed decision that would be wise for your retirement. Obviously, there is a number of retirement options. You could do a lump sum. Like Pate earlier alluded, please come to us if you need advice. Don't go to any of your friends, because many a times if they are misinformed, the chances are they'll give you wrong information. We are just minutes away. Come and talk to our officers. They are here today. We have the team leader Savusavu here. Please talk to them on the options. Many a times we hear rumors that FNPF is not giving away lump sum. If you have reached your retirement age and you want to take away all your money from FNPF, it will be processed in a day or two. There are sometimes delays when we find out there some contribution in your account that shouldn't be there, or if you write down one of your previous employment, and it's not in your account. So we do take few days to check those, but the option is there. We pay 100%. If you want to go for part lump sum or part pension, that option is still there. Or if you want to put everything to pension, again that option is there. But sometimes, because the FNPF is always in the spotlight that, FNPF is not going to give your money, it's going to give it away to the government. Those are the rumors. Obviously, we have to look at all these investments, and investments which the government has paid back during COVID. We've got, steady stream of returns coming from the government. That is why we were able to pay you the interest. If you look at the interest that was paid by banks, it's very low. Yet we retained you 5%. So that is how investments, it's a diversified portfolio. So the board takes informed decisions. Again, come and see me, we'll be able to help you with those advocacy teams. Next week we'll be in Tavyuni. That's where we have an expo. That's where we'll be talking to a number of members in Tavyuni and advising them on the options. And we will be happy to come back to the village and do a session here. Thank you.
So just following up with the last question in regards of the retirement, if you withdraw twice and then because of your expertise, you need, like you've been given another job and you need to invest again into FNPF, is that possible?
Sorry, that's not possible. You can only re-enter the fund once after you make a retirement. If you rejoin once, and then taken your money out, after 2 retirement withdrawals, FNPF will not allow you to come back. Again, that is a decision that you need to make now with the retirement age being pushed to 60. We also have age-based pension products, so that's a decision that you need to make. That's a very informed decision, because once you decide to re-enter the fund, that's the only time you can do it after turning of age, or you're reaching your entitlement age. You cannot re-enter after you've joined twice.
Question, in regards to the third issue, if you're retired, like the payment is, you no longer can come in on the third time, but is the company employs you, and are they going to pay you directly, or is it legal, or?
Yeah, that's the decision that you need to negotiate with your company, because you will no longer be able to rejoin the fund. So the company, if they want, they can pay you directly. The whole 16% or 14%, which is the current legislated amount, or if they want to pay you only 7%, they can pay you directly. Because they cannot make any more deductions, because we will not be able to take your money, because you are no longer a member.
Naka.
Vinaka, we'll just take one question online. The question is, can the 30% or 70% limitation be removed and members be allowed to withdraw for anything? Some of us will not buy a property.
Vinaka, that's a very good question. I think there's always been a lot of questions about... Let me start by stating that when the fund was set up in 1966, the main and the sole purpose of the fund was for retirement. That has never changed. It's to assist members whilst they are young and strong and being employed, to save whilst they're earning. Prior to the eligibility, the age of entitlement, which is 55, to save those monies, accumulate for their retirement. That purpose and that objective has never changed. As I said, the fund started in 1960, and that remains the objective of the fund up to this date. What we had seen, because of certain decisions that were made in the past, members were then allowed to withdraw up to 2/3 of their monies in the fund. Up to 2/3 before they retired. So you could take away 33+%, and 66, and then the remaining 1/3 was left for your retirement. So not only that, there were 23 grounds of withdrawals that members can. So Fiji being Fiji, and when you have an opportunity like that, people thought that FNPF was a bank. So any opportunity they had, they came running to the fund. kauni mataningon, all sorts of things. They ran to the FNPF. So when we did the reforms, when we came in to do the reforms in 2011, 2012, we said, okay, let's look back at what was the purpose of FNPF. Then we saw allowing members to withdraw up to 60% was against the very purpose why FNPF. And this is why when members retired, the majority of members, when they retired, because they were given this opportunity, over 70% of them had balances of less than $10,000 in their account. Less than $10,000. And them being allowed to take away that money was the result of why they had so low balances when they reached 55. And you will agree with me, when anybody retires with 5,000 or 10,000, that's very little. That's insufficient to look after retirement. So that's why we changed. We changed the law, and if you look on the slide, okay, we introduced a preservation policy. You can withdraw 30%, that was your general account. We split the accounts in two, general account and the preserved account. Every $1 that came into FNPF, 30 cents went into a general account, 70 cents went into a preserved account. Your preserved account was preserved for retirement. That 30% you can take for those grounds of withdrawals that you see on the board. Medical, education, housing, funeral, unemployment. The only time that you were allowed to dip into your 70% was when you wanted to build a house or purchase a land for the first time. Then we allowed you to withdraw 30% from the 70%, and that's 21%. Those of you who wanted to build a house or land, you would come to the FNPF and ask for your housing eligibility. That housing eligibility is calculated 30% of 70% is 21%, plus the 30% in your general account, that's 51%. So that is what you can do only once, for the first time for you to purchase a land or build a home. So we introduced that preservation policy. We are already seeing the benefits of that preservation policy. Just in the matter of the last, when we introduced it in 2014, members' balances have accumulated quickly to over $2 billion in terms of the accumulation in the preserved funds. So this, if you see the balances now, are over $2 billion has been accumulated. Over $4 billion belongs to members, eh?
Yeah, in
preserved account. Yeah, so we have seen a quick accumulation, which sort of aligns with the purpose of FNPF. So 70%, the bulk of your money is preserved for your retirement. 30% is allowed for the other 5 grounds of withdrawals. So to answer the question that have been asked, we cannot allow, you are only confined to your 30% for medical, education, housing, funeral, unemployment, of course, any natural disaster. Okay? We have not allowed anyone to sort of dip into the preserved account. Okay? I hope that answers that question.
Naka, if you have any question, you may raise your hand. Going back to CEO's presentation, if something was not clear, kahit na kasi ni matataman na voso na CEO nito na presentation, kere-kere ni Renitar.
Hi, my name is Serena and I'm a member, but I also represent our employer. I have one query. This is for health insurance. I know the FNPF have health medical investments, and they they give medical assistance if a person, a member needs. But what if, FNPF can consider getting an extra 1% from the members on monthly contribution and do a insurance sort of, like we don't have to go to insurance companies to register for medical health insurance. Why not FNPF considers health insurance for members in future?
Thank you, Madam, for that question. I think we already have a special death benefit product for our members, which basically means in case of your untimely demise and you are still working, whilst you are still working, there is a product which is more like a death insurance product for members who pass away whilst they are still working. But as you have proposed for FNPF to consider health insurance, there are other providers in the market, and we are not here to compete with them or offer competitive products. Our core purpose of FNPF is for retirement. That is the sole objective of the fund. But again, we'll at sessions like this, at forums like this, we take feedback. We will take it back to our board and say members are requesting for such products, and we will put it in front of our board for their consideration.
There's a second question. This is as an employer regarding compliance certificate. Right now, you are only issuing on monthly basis, and which as an employer, it is really difficult for us to process with our applications when we get up the compliance certificate for, let's say, in December. And by then, all our applications are still not processed. And then they come back. I mean, I'm just giving an example, let's say forestry. And they come back and they tell us that your compliance is expired. So, I mean, I know because we do monthly contributions and you assess our compliance on that basis. But why don't you do, no, this is a request, that you do look at the whole year's contribution for that certain company, and then if that company has complied for that whole year, then why not you give at least 3 months so that we are able to apply all our other licenses where the FNPF compliance certificate is required. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam, again. I think part of what you said is true, but there is another element which is not right. We do issue 12 months compliance certificates for employers who have a clean record with FNPF. The instance where you get a conditional compliance means that you've got some unsettled accounts with FNPF, whether it will be some penalties, outstanding contribution, or unaccounted contributions that may be sitting in your suspense account. But if you are in the event where your account is up to date, we are issuing 12-month clean certificates. I know it's a hassle, but we cannot give any employer who's got unsettled transactions or unsettled account with FNPF a clean 12-month compliance. Otherwise, he's gone for 12 months, and it's not fair on the employees as well. So please see me if your employment history is up to date. I'll make sure you get a 12-month compliance today.
Thank you. I wasn't aware of that, so definitely we'll contact you guys. Thank you.
Naka, any more questions? If you are unable to ask the question, you can text your question to the mobile number on the board, 9968-163, and we'll be happy to put your question forward.
Whilst we're waiting for the next question, we see that we just want to emphasize that you can open accounts to become members of the fund. You can be villagers, you can be self-employed, you can be doing your own businesses. You can open an account, and particularly for your children and grandchildren, 6-year-olds, mine account. I thought I just mentioned that because I see that Erau ni dola wana no muni account verna lube muni verna mokumbu muni. Ayo ke bando na vasalo na suleve ke muni ke bando na vasalo mela verna ndoni lolo ma bina oni na ni suleve verna lube muni na mokumbu muni ni dola ba vera ndona account na ngona remba ki ono kina se vera sa amba ki ono sivia. Ke ba kausa na da kabo ya usana ba buli di ko itu go me marro ila na tumbu talanga so mo chiko na FNPF. E tumbu le bundondo sing dona tumbu tale so matu na dona kampanye ba tumbu lawo se namba ke toto bata na tumbu e soli tu na FNPF ke na reda na pepa ni kuwa ko ndondo ko so matu na tumbu le bundondo do tamba mai na vesi nga mendona baki e 2.5% Na FNPF bagsao che so mai ono na pasente, bagani liu 5. Kena balik ke orang na tumbu, sangat tal nindua, na vanua bina kani baka tumbu ila mai bata na FNPF. Na kangau ni dakava, ni ngole ni na FNPF, ni lain dolava ke muni na tumbuna, se tamana, se nona tumbu lain dolava. Sing tuku ni me lokai na so na vi vula se vi madao se ngona ke baka so vi ke muni vai tei ngona nga e davu kina nandalo matu kina nandalo na ngona ni roni biteni dona kena se $10 se rosa vulandol endona kena na kini kito mai da kamu na korvatura ngo Yaroi kito vela ko kina bata kito kila erao nyo tiku ngana koro vi kim tiku mai na koro ni da business tu ngana koro ni ndongoli ni ndotete erao talanganyo ni member na FNP ronyo ni member wangona yo na ambaki ni bula usatu na tiku mai na ambaki ono kana yala don da kana 5 kawa kala ke basale ve kim ni sa CV ana 5 kawa na basala ngau tu nutskani go metukun su governo lu ve muni verna mo kumbu muni mera wadur mo bali bonon rela na FNPF sekanyo ni dolava na ina kita lana kena to yabu kina na ono na nambaki ono mente $1 kina membala tasarang na non duru na ngone dakila na daw ni ve susu kena ilulu ni matabubal na sawlev ni duru ni buli tordai kawa endua wakanya tu na nona account da mai nambaki ono kele do nambaki ni nona buli tordake sa ro mandangan ni so manangone na nona duru bate kwa ke bakai senga ya ke manisini le buli tordake sando nei la satu e te ko ni ke na me da vikala we no nambula ana vakasa mambimbi ko ti ko na ke na ba dur na account na nambaki ono kan bale ke ba dona account na viva ungi tikina ve ke ndana tu na lumni bal ni ko ni alu bina ni dola we dona numni batana va tumbila we tulungana ka wa matai nambala buni ngona indue ba dure lebu ke na tem ni se ngone ngana tamata na lebu ni tumba na rawata lele talanga na tumbu na lebu ni tumbu ke to soma na lebu tola ni tumbu na tur wata ke na tem na lebu ni kaum bitai lo mana bina talanga ke na lebu ngani bitai lo mana ke na tum ke na kava ma kaku ni tarai bita sartunga kaku ni tarama itu na ke daga na kai wata ke na tumbu sana compound interest
Naka. We have a question in the front.
Nemani mikava leo ni pension na scheme ni retirees obia wasia sakento na pe sureti tambi chuko ni to kalenda na itu corona kawanga itu titi sa chuko na ngonongo ya chuko na itu pan ni koro bagsango sa ndewana titi berna turubu dona bisurit sa chuko ke dona financial literacy program au sambil sa chuko ni to kalenda February, March, April. Usara sa chuko na pailisili mena tisogani na koro mele na pakasama sa kaniba rita katiko. Mendola na nonda voluntary member ora sa kana dorobu ke na ngonelewa na koro na kawang. Kwa bisurit sa chuko na ke ranile ngarabi dona literacy program nang vitar sa mai kirtu na pailisili na volleyball asa bali.
Nak sakani marau begitu na dingo mana kere-kere ngur erto na lagoy na nito ibalislis erto na gele bitar taranga batke TI batke Timothy Timothy no gele bitar taranga na Timothy ko na dito mani dia may lambas o TI mani dito ko Savusavu aro na gele bitar taranga batke mani nakani marau begitu dingo mana kere-kere bango benak
Naka nimbula tau doko edangu walengao mero ni tamakau para masar nimbuto ni tomba may na tewa be na corona sino o yau sini memba na nonggulewe ni walenga memba Ia sinindo na kau taronga na kanga ubina ka ta ubia vavina vina kataka na isongo-songo ko. Paleta na buli non rotau na lubengu ela ko ngamay na Provident Fund. Ia ngor rotau sa tolu rotau sa daka tu. Eke na karua na neito vale e daka sarangamay na nona sa ritaya mai sa kaumay nona ilavo e sa may daka kina na nongu vale. Rakida sen rakivinaka ondi mere tungelo manivale. Kakede tukina pa lili sulu mandangai na nona puche senga ningai duruma na tumba. Ubabi na binakataka kina na isongo-songo ngo iya sangai bandu mau rongodango ni saroni teke busaranga vera na makumbuda. Tati ni karua na makumbungo. Ia una sanga sarangango ni na utinga na bulingo me una songo ni ramai na isongo-songo lubengu me ke mai me maindambe me ubande o takabeira na ituku-tuku rongo binakango ni resekala la ira na lubenra ia irambe kangana tinandra na tamanda rasa daka-daka ia ukere talanga me vada va me reidi na kenrei sau me musubale una kani Provident Fund. Ndo na kau reida me andou musuka vale una ken risau. Yang go wabina binaka sana tobole saranga me kita ulendambe me sa teke bu saranga vera nangone na maroro ini non rilabo binaka valebo.
Yo, bewa binaka tangana nomuni bosa bamutai dona kai duindi tondo kino FNPF beta na ilawo bakatamba kina dona kai baka kani tawimate se kani vale se kani bule ko duindi tel mai kina be na be matanga lilawo kada do marwa kan dona ke duindi lebu do tana duindi lebu ke to na financial institution lebu tondo eviti sanga nindo na bangi do biketo rambiu batana bangi ralele kede na ilawo tana ke toro ata ke to rawa ilawo lebu tondua ibiti ke baka ke to na karusa era tali ni karusa kando na financial system ibiti ana ni to lebu kana lebu talanga raw kina be ke to me ke to do la ko na be boli lebu na bono na matintu ibiti be boli ni hotel lebu ke to nga boy dara me ke to bolia sanga tali ndo na bono ye ni ndalebu e tu be ke ndalebu na koko wa me ndando zakaba lebu na kalelebu. Ia na lebu katalana muni bosa na lebu ngani lawo ni bitikina na lomba me adha besar na bagi 5 kalima na lebu talanga ni lawo ni narawat pambanga nak
Obia kurianga vale kala kana na ba madal o kala lebu be ikenda sanga tikuni kila na dava soti na iau e toke na tamada ni lawo musuki. Au talo mandangani bada da be ke muni roni kila na dava soti toke na tamada ni lawo musuki. Na vi vale ke toke na kenda ke muni na sale sumai suva oni na reda na voli vola liu ni foka na tamal ni vakata vadava na vale turana presidente ko to ni liu na sese na vale enda toke na member ni FNPF na foka ren sunga kina ta santa ke tombale me asi me na no chu na turana presidente na hotela na GPH na Grand Pacific donan 100% na nona na FNPF ta token santa tombale nga ma vale liu na Holiday Inn na hotela non dana tamala ni law musuk ta da tombale chunga mai na ngoni sala batangaya da reda na bange na HFC na bange na HFC e vitu sanga bulu kalima na pasende nona na FNPF e rosa bulu kalima na pasende e nona na Unit Trust na vale ko chikina vale liwa e nona na FNPF e ren chikuna bange na HFC ve kana na leonia FNPF o chaka ubia wasinga le botombalanga ni kona vale balau na FNPF Dolphins na FDB tai na vale balau ya na non da vale tala na FNPF sa da tombale ani ba ngoni salavat ngaya ologani kelas omba ke kemni sana lisu timai na laki di sana Rockefeller sana Vineyard na vale ko to na kona na vin na ko to na kona ko ndo adana ti na Victoria na valea e nona na fena kona bo nona valindani si kora to na kona na laki e di sina da such e ana vale nona na FNPF to renchu ngai ka na bad dog cafe na da such ya ta sa ngai lokai na samui na Mercury House na Fintel Macau na vale nona na FNPF na National Bank Macau skuna pa kitai na vale nona na FNPF tong balangai ni vale liu ke misale su to mena vale na na office na winway bakani liu na QEB ko to wala na NZ e nona na QB Queensland Insurance e nona na FNPF sa sangke la ko ni wantundonu mola ko yani na ngani lau house e nona na FNPF ke o tako soitai mola ko Morisi ona tako soi na Harbour Front nangoni salan Harbour Front ya nona na FNPF Harbour Center Harbour Center cha sangela ko na BP Macau na BP Maisuva na dana na Harbour Front na vale anu na member ni FNPF ko be la ko ke na Kongtai Plaza ko chukina Bank of Baroda ya sana nona na FNPF ya o sangela ko itamabua no sala ko itamabua na namba ni na telecommunications company na Vodafone e vitsanga voluka tolu wada na pasende to kana na FNPF o te ke na wala talanga ko itsuga mai tamabu na nona na FNPF rtu renchu na Vodafone kana bala ni ovanga te ko na Vodafone wi ko talanga sa wakani tsu na dumutumbu na FNPF io ne to investment ni na company ni telefonia na FNPF tala to kena na company ni telefoni ve ko aqui mai Kiribati mai Cook Islands mai Western Samoa mai Vanuatu sandeo talangango i Papua New Guinea na mbange levu na BSP na FNPF e kalima ni shareholder levu ndondua ni mbange ni PNG ko to kena na bange na BSP viti na FNPF e kalima ni shareholder levu ndondua ta sangai wilikena na kake to kera na Fiji Ports tiwa ya pital ni tongele si wilikena na hotel ko itu mengori i Natandola na golf course mai Natandola momi na Marriott o sangai la ko indena rau na Westin na Sheraton ai sona ia o to kera na FNPF betele wikem ni dinda metingor ni sanga tuni kila na masut na kai to kera na FNPF na vanoya ta kito sakai batalani kito volendo na share na Fiji Airways na ve na kititu na kena biutu na watu bila wea me vina ka ve ke menina mem kla ele ve ke menina na kurambuita ni tu ni ni go ya na bonua e watu bila watu ke na tanga la musik balata o ke muni ni na vina kata na tumbu na bonua ya kitu watu bila we ke me kitu so na matangali tumbu kwa kitu ndo ka di baka na viamba ki na ona pasenja na lima na vina ngane to tumbu na vina talanga ni tumbu kitu so ma ve ke menina nak
Naka, one question coming in.
Just translate it in English. So I think most of you must have understood. But Pate was talking about the various investment properties that FNPF holds, and ranging from starting from where FRCS is located. We've got the FRCS building; those all three buildings that belong to all of you. FRCS pays the rent that comes to us, and we return that to you when we declare the interest come 30th June. Then you move towards the city center, then we have got the GPH hotel. That's also 100% owned by FNPF, belongs to all of you. Then we have the Holiday Inn next to it, and moving on closer to the city center, we've got HFC Bank, of which we own 75%, and the bank is doing wonderfully well and retaining dividends when it makes the profits, and 25% is owned by UTOF. Then closer, we've got the Fintel building, that's called the Macri House. Next to it is the Victoria Corner building. Moving ahead is the QB building that was acquired just a few years ago. And we also have the Ganilao House, which accommodates the telecom, as well as a branch for HFC. Then, in the city center, we've got the Harbour Center building and the Harbour Front building, which has the RB Patel supermarket and various other tenants. Next to it is the Kongtai Plaza, and then closer to it is the FNPF headquarters, which houses the FNPF office, and in Plaza 2 we've got FNPF tenants. Then you move up towards Princess Road, we've got Vodafone building, which is 100% owned by all of you, and which currently is occupied by Vodafone. We also have got shares in BSP Bank. We all are the fifth largest shareholder in BSP Bank. That is one of the recent acquisitions. And like Pate concluded, we also are now shareholders in Fiji Airways. I think we own about 33% of Fiji Airways. It's very important to understand why we invested in Fiji Airways. It's a very strategic asset. When we look at our investment portfolio, we have various hotels, like the ones I mentioned, GPH, Holiday Inn. Along the Coral Coast, we've got Intercontinental, Momi. Then when you move closer to Nandi, we've got the likes of Sheraton, Westin. It's very important to understand the tourists that come to Fiji since the borders open, we bring them in Fiji Airways. And if Fiji Airways goes down, how will the tourists come to us? So we have to connect the dot. We have to make sure we are part of the cycle that brings the tourists to Fiji. Otherwise, the tourism industry is going to go down. So we have to look at the various chains. So that is why we invested in Fiji Airways. We've copped a lot of criticism why we are investing in airline business when during COVID a number of airlines across the globe have gone down. But we have to take care of our own airline. Otherwise, tourism is going to go down. The tourists won't be able to come to Fiji. They won't come in a boat. They won't come in a bilimbili. They will come in that airline that we've invested in. So it's very important when people are talking, and we own those shares. You all own a part of Fiji Airways. So you have to protect that interest. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Singh. One question coming in online. If members have exhausted their general account, can they access their preserved account for education?
As I've explained previously, Timothy, once you exhaust your preserved account, your general account, that's it. You cannot dip into your preserved account you will have to wait for it to accumulate again. Okay? So you are limited to the 30% in terms of education. Okay?
Naka. Thank you. Another question online from Davina Wipi. Can members residing on family estates and do not have the title under their names apply for housing allowance by getting a written clarification of entitlement from their family trustee, similar to what the Turangani Chorus do for their members?
Unfortunately not. And the very reason why we do not allow those letters to be used for withdrawals is because they do not have any legal backing. The only thing that will hold weight is that name on the title. Why we want your name on the title is because that gives you security. When you take your hard-earned money out of FNPF and put it into a house renovation or acquisition of property, there is a stake. There is your stake in that property. Otherwise, we've seen there has been family disputes, and where people have invested in family properties, they have lost their hard-earned savings. FNPF is a retirement fund. We promise retirement security. So, and we do allow housing withdrawals for investment in properties, renovation, upgrades, but you have to own that property. We don't want that portion of the money to be lost, because otherwise there will be lesser for you in retirement. That house, that roof above your head is a security, but it's only secured when you have the name on the title. Naka.
Thank you. We have one question in the back.
Naka. Doon nga nataro. Rawala nga nindo pa matatatala nga venandoan na kauret yung venumdo annual report na zero endowment accounts.
Question is on zero endowment account.
Binaka taro binaka na monitor. Doon ang boleh lebut ko mikito na tamada nila musuki mikito wasa bata kana nito iwala. Kita na lawa ibir kotori na FNPF isiro ni kita ibir kotori tu walawa na ngona kita roni songo takin dona kau. Isiro ni kita songo tanga na ngona kita be songo takin. Koya ni kita reza main na nito ngona kita be avasa sabata takin nito wala kita reza tigo ni dona wili lewu esa sini dona ila boite ko non account kita usama ni rakaba dona bang dindike me rauni lore ke nada banabu na ile butu kina na nambango ni tu tobole me kita wasra sabata kana ya nito eso sama ni kita ngereza ni so sa mate ko ya saron sulive kita ngalala me kita wasra sabata ke me ko merasongo kina na account eso e rua tuna non account eso esa ratoro tuna non relavo asa manin dola tunga na non account kwana ngona kita usada kawe kita usama ni wasa sabata kina na nito ivola sama ni nimbera ni wasa sabata kina nito ivola na rono ndolu rosang vulkan dua awanan raw wasa vulka onon dolu onan raw lima sama vulka walu na lebu ni member ni FNPF ani wili tuki na wirara sangat tundon na ilaw tunon rakaw sama ni raka na be wasa sabata kia kita wasa sabata nito ivola sanga ilora na wili din sa song wirana account de kwa kita usaha banti kevoti sanga ilora na lebu ni member ni FNPF ni sa song non rakaw dia sanga may donu na nito wilika me sa tolu nan raw Dios ang vulkawal non dolu 5 nan raw Dios ang vulkatulu 390,593 kwa sangay kwa active chu nangonongo kwa sangay kito waso sabatek balat ni kito ro men nangonong balaw ndo suliti kun dona ituku dala no irango sa tungana nonra ela tungana edanra esa tundona ela witukin pasama ni ado kinana wi waso sabatek ngo na annual report na bengo sakito dakaba kinana wi waso sabatek ngo sangay warita keveni na reida na slide na lewu ni member ko itu go be kitongo tolnan raw Dios ang vulkawol no dolo 5 nan raw Dios ang vulkatul ko ira na sember ni songo tingo so virango ko nawon no dolo go se la ko tingo na kena vibangai belorai pambimbi na sa sibia na baki 5 vulkalima onita ni sama tatawi
Naka.
Yung aben na ulutang ya. Yo cuci nunggu somu nunggu FNPF menurundul cinta lima. Kaci apa nakor. So my account becomes dormant. Kita pernah, kita kau sana saci guna nunggu account. Kau sasingin gay contribute juga ni nabi mother ruas sevi bulu musuh. Nanunggil lawa sa tumbual sarci nga na policy ni 5% my annual interest ni mundo organisasi. Edava nanomundo tu sa nanomundo membalata na zero batake na doma na account policy kundo chingo batake ma pana matanggali account ko baya. Tau ni cinambaki Timberin keme medo na 5 kalima. Dia sakit memitu wana koron ini memekau 60 ciku sas keme contribute juga ni. Kita doman account se dibili ciku wana kanggo sisi.
Naka na non account ke basa classify tu me doman account ni go seronyo ngolani mulai batumbur na nomu ilaw. Ona tebu mandanga na nangonongo etiko ke bakao yang baki 5.5 kalima, baki 5.5. Sasini taka tunan dona yang baki. Na nomu ilaw ko etiko na FNPF tinaw dolu lakosom. Ona baka taka ke bakao yang baki 5.5. Sampai 5.5. Sini taka yang bakin dua na levo ni no milava ko tiko na FNPF me lele mai na tinong dolo la kosum. Iko saron la ko ani ole ko ta keda mai na no milava. Ole ko ta keda mai na no milava me roni buke ko moto ye buta ka ndona business sen dona ka orani o wa dore ki na me varoni va tumbu lava viko. Wiki muni na domana kan ko ni ke ba sa sanga tu di tatak ke ba o sa bagi 550 laku 550 baksa bagi 550 sa kanyo tatak nan do na yamba ki no mi labo lele mana tinaw dulu ara ni lo nga ni to volleyball Savusavu ko wala wala no uniform lai to ke de mena no mi labo me buke ko no mo sanga ndo no business sento na kame varo ni buke ko ti ko na ngona a endua ke ni karua
bagada ke bakao Sangki yang pakai pasang bulu, saya pasang bulu kelima, ayo isi benci kena cinung dulu, saya tolong sama bulu nung dulu, cuma kena nomor kau. But it has become dormant, memang kena polisi ya.
Around di itu kena unemployment assistance, kebaik kena nomu, kebaik sasin kata around yo alau tagi kau nanti orang baki, motara yang dona lah, yang apa kata uci kena dah baik kena nomu general account. Kawai cikgu na ila bana general account na ronyo buke na unemployment unemployment withdrawal. Ronyo utingo ke tongele bitama ni meroni lorai na da roni dak ke baka iyo na FNPF ko e mata tasartunga. Na FNPF sindo na mama. Iyo nga iyo senga na senga. Sindo enda wena lomani kena bale mata sartunga na itu policy keba kao soliviko ena soliviko keba sini soliviko esana senga ni soliviko mata balata mata ko magikenta ken iliwando wata reitu meso elagani do tiko sana ko lala iwe kito na tu vida mo kito ndo kito sare de santo na kana kira vale tada metango makito tango makemni na member me trita ki wato to wata na tamata kede me fea doangana ko te santavo kine ani tula ke va sa io nga io sa talindo ara ngele ulo balata na kere
Vinaka, a question online. Can the panel explain how the drawdown account works?
The drawdown account is also a retirement product, but unlike where you take a single life annuity or a joint life annuity, this is still a member account. That's why it's called a drawdown account. It will earn the same interest as a member gets during their working life, and you will be allowed in emergency where you have a need or a pressing need, a one-time withdrawal from your account. So if there's a standard account and there's a high premium account. I think it's also explained in the package that you have been given on the features of the DDA account. So it gives the dependents a monthly income if they meet certain criteria for full withdrawal, and the monthly payments will keep going as long as there is money in the account or until the DDA holder, DDA is the drawdown account holder, passes away, whichever comes first. So who can purchase a DDA? Members that have reached the age of eligibility, which is 55, or a member that is medically unable to return to work, or a member or non-member who is the sole nominee for a deceased member. So again, the benefits of having a DDA account, it's tax-free investment that pays interest at each financial year based on the declaration by FNPF board, and it also allows the member to access money while still getting their monthly payment. That's the earlier one-time withdrawal I alluded to. So those are the features of the drawdown account, and I think there are some examples also given in your package. There's a standard plan, there's a high payment plan, and you can also nominate if you're a DDA account holder. And there are various other questions on DDA, and I'll be happy to take them, if you need more clarity. you can come and see me after the end of the Q&A session, and I'll be able to explain if you are interested in the DADA product, which is now up for offer.
Thank you. Any more questions from the floor?
Nimbula benaka, edango lentua. Ndo changan ko pataro, paletana education eligibility. En around back ni soma na nogu areas ni dur ni buli na baki Ronaldo chinkadiwa. Kenaliu.
Can FNPF pay school arrears from 2019?
Naka, nasa unita robado dono sara sinrawa. Ko era nga ni kita usoma na rono ndolo rosa vulkan dua. Rono ndolo rosa vulkan dua. Ha?
Nakan total nataro?
Yung nimbula go pensami ni longoy bau untuk na member ni FNPF. So sa tingon na taro bikim do na wali silesi ngara bucu na tambal la busuki. Kira ni ba matatay nga bikim mami na bitambal ni buli tapos suti kira ni bibuki na FNPF. Beta wala taro na FNPF. Ena son na matanggali private school son na itu kuni ni sing lagi na bibuki. Kira ni ba matatay manda ena bim do na wali silesi. Na sige ni kuwa tambal ni buli tapos suti. Endo wali kina matanggali bibuki. Musuki. Naka.
Bilak taro bilang na militar o klani liu talmenga erna via kilana tambani bulida na tamada ni la musuki ke bakayen dona korri bulli e vina kata me bukeir na via le bulli kina o ko endon donu me mai register liu na FNPF kene balambale na iteke buni veitala noa na korni buli ko vina kata na FNPF ko e buinga ana korni buli ni buli tordake e buinga kina tamada ni la musiki kene balambala o rakeda na ve korni buli sana ve institution go e chiko endo na accreditation process marna kere ni kina na FNPF ra kere na FNPF kito sangale vanti ke na FNPF merna kau tamai na nonra tuku vai lavo samba ki vida na nonra viva buli di chico o de o iredi de baka chuna kuri bulingo bateana ni to tango makati ko kito si vina kata mele lusi na no muli lavo mele momo so era to e utanga nonra kuri buli kito mai vandi ke vana vi kuri buli ndona ngona asala indona nrau tu bada da bolen don ro bada da wi ron ramana kuri buli era credit to na FNPF kita sangai musuka kita sangai tukuna vera ni reapply talmai batani saru ile una abuses edak ya ken mambal nang unang kontor bitang lo chingino go aya nai mata ini kamar na takabo na koribuli ko ra bina kata merawang takana ilaw ni member ni FNPF ngona kita saba kay yokina sangai roni soliveira merna tarana nonra mertarai nonra ilaw na member ena wakatau talanga na kosan dundu era takaba ana FNPF ana ndikeva ana zakataka batakina Fiji Higher Education Commission balatana ve koribuli kede vichi ndo don me register na Fiji Higher Education Commission sarto bagayo to na Fiji Higher Education Commission do chuna tikini process ya ana gera ni kito bukekin yo bago sivi me bada da saro ko e buke na buli torodake in a certificate na diploma na graduate courses or to na university ko or to kedengo wilikina go Montfort go i Savusavu Montfort errao ni kito kina mbala ke ba nduela ko tunga mai sember register na Fiji Higher Education Commission se me muria na process ai na FNPF ana sinirao ni kito na vivo kikin we matata ya se
bina bale benom ni sontano
iya
total na ka menabungan no ni pamatala kau bea watar tal cunga kina ena terra na ngono bakata pa mesule bira na ngono mera proses ta kina na ka ko mini kuntung mingori pati kema mi cungo kono koro ndundu na lew ni raw ka itu bi kemami ngandra ber lebi kemami so rasini ul bina kasar na son tambani bul tordaki ngandra be sona tambani bul short cost tolo karni randarama ena terra indu na ngona do sulit kindu na time frame bira na mata institution bangor mera kata kata kini mikil kem sewa wat kini ngo kita ba indu bit kindu na time frame
kito na ena bakata bira na be institutions ya wiranga mera bakata tolo takani ke bara bina kata mera bangata kana ilabot wato tolo na FNP wiranga mera baro takani na kakito lawa kamai ke bara na sini baro takani na sinto sono na kere but okay, we are trustees and custodians of members' funds. So the onus is on the institution. Merato mita kana kai vina kata na FNPF. Kaya sini mita kana na vika kito vina na FNPF sinraw ni kito na pruvta. Kaya mbale na num ni sonitaro na bia bato ka. Lista lang aber na institution siguro. Metarong bir da ni sa solia na ka erdo vina na FNPF sesa. Na da velang ka chu. Kaya bara vina na ilaban ni FNPF. Don marakotay na vika kito lawa kamay na tamatatan lang musip. Kaya ba isa nga nasenga. Unita ni sana sumunum nitar.
Wale.
Naka, one question online. Is FNPF considering investments in the north since most of FNPF owned properties are only in Vitilevu?
I've answered that question. As I've stated before, first focus was in Vitilevu for that purpose. That's where most of the economic activity happens. Now the north, with government look north policy, we already started considering northern investments. I've stated before, we have actually tendered for FSC land in Lambasa. We're looking for property in Savusavu, and it all depends on the price. If the price is right, we'll acquire.
Okay. Another question online. Can FNPF update members on the status of our withdrawal instead of us following up all the time?
We've recently introduced a SMS messaging platform, so that will keep you updated on the status of your withdrawal. Yeah, and the processing as well. Yeah. So when it's important when you are putting in the application, you put in the mobile number that belongs to you, so that we are able to send you that SMS. And once the payment is also made, we'll also be notifying you.
Thank you. The floor is still open for questions.
Yeah. Tim, whilst we are on that, you know, the FNPF services can be accessed via your mobile. And I would encourage everybody in this room who has a mobile phone to please register now with the people out there, because you can get any information that you want on FNPF with the palm of your fingers. As long as you have access to connectivity, it doesn't limit you. You don't have to come to Savusavu to access. You can even do withdrawal via my FNPF app. There's over 200,000 registered users now on the FNPF My app. So I would encourage each one of you that are here, before you leave this room, you register for my FNPF app so that you can get access to your balances, your nomination, whatever information that you require on the fund, it's readily available. If you want to make a withdrawal on unemployment, on funeral, on any other assistance that the FNPF rolls out, it's via our digital platforms. So it's under my FNPF app. It's very important for you people to, I would encourage each and everyone that's here to register and have access to our services. Menak.
Naka. Any more questions from the floor? Another question online. Can we change our nomination, or is it only done once?
can change as many times as you can.
Thank you. 5 more minutes before we close our question and answer. If you have
also, just an additional point for some of you who may not have changed their nominations after getting married, it's very important because your nomination that you had done when you may have started work will get nullified once you get married. So, save the hassle. We've seen families going to and fro to High Court to claim the money that has been left by the loved one. So it's very important to nominate. I think the nomination is now also available on the mobile app. You can see if you have nominated or not. So if you haven't, our team is out there at the back. Please see one of them and they'll be happy to assist you.
Just share a story with you people. We were in the West about 5 years back when the manager from the West came in and said, "Hey, Moso, there's a member here. She wants to speak to you." She has changed her nomination about 7 times in the last 2 or 3 months. So I called her in. I said hello to her. I said, "Hey, why are you changing, ma'am? I want to understand why you're changing your nomination so many times." So her answer to me was, "Hey, Mozo, this depends on the weather at home." But to answer the question that was asked, you are the owner of the money. That's your money, that's your rights. You can change your nomination as many times as you want to. Okay? Nak.
And also as to how many people as you want to. It's not only the number of lines on the form, so it's not only 25. If you want to nominate to 10 people, you can do that as well. As long as all the percentages add up to 100 and not more.
Any more final questions?
Yes. There's a form, 7th form available, and you can change your signature if your names have also been changed. You no longer require a deed of poll. So you just see one of our officers and they'll be happy to assist you. I know many times the signature that you probably started when you were working, and now it has changed. And some of you may not even remember because you may not have transacted with FNPF for a number of years. That signature may not be the same, but when you come to FNPF for a withdrawal, we'll always take the signature that has been on our record. So, but that doesn't prevent you from making any withdrawal because the money is still yours. As long as we can verify, validate that you are the bona fide holder, you can change your signature. There is forms available. Yeah.
I think, let me just emphasize, it's important for members to make their nominations. Now, I would encourage everyone in this room, if you haven't made your nomination, to please go and lodge your nomination. It's important because we've seen the impacts of this. Now, when a loved one is lost, when the partner is not there, then the rest of the surviving family members will run around. No? If you don't discuss this honestly with your partners and spouses, there's a lot of difficulties that we're going to arise. The nomination form overrides any will in terms of the FNPF Act. Whatever is on the nomination form, that will go to that person. If you don't fill a nomination, the process will be that if something happens to you, you will have to wait for the High Court to then determine who will get your money. In the meantime, children needs to be sent to school, things needs to be done. So if you don't fill in your nomination forms, then your surviving family members will have a lot of problems. So I would encourage everyone right now that are members, please you go and update your nominees if you haven't, to avoid all these problems later on. Right? Pinak.
Thank you. Final 2 questions coming in online. First one, small account withdrawals for those between 50 to 54. Can it be increased to 20,000? Some of us have more than 10,000.
That's a good question. We'll just give you a background. I think when we initially started, we the limit was 5,000, and we did some analysis. We increased it to 10,000. And like any other thing, the FNPF periodically reviews its product. Currently, there's a review going on. If after the review, there's a need for us to increase that, also based on the feedbacks that we received from all the forums. This is the last leg of our member forums in Labasa tomorrow and then Tavioni the following week. So after when we get all these suggestions and we will then go back and meet, and then we'll see, how best we can, if it adds value to members, if it's aligning with our FNPF mandate, we can do the relevant changes. And then the relevant public announcements are made. If we cannot, then we will not be able to do it. But otherwise, all the suggestions are being recorded, and then it goes through deliberative processes at our head office, and then we can. In fact, most of the changes that have occurred because of the suggestions that we have received from forums such as this.
Thank you. Final question received via text. To prepare members 3 to 5 years before reaching our retirement age of 55, can you please introduce a system of financial empowerment to our members to protect them from misusing their funds? Example, provide financial assistance with business advice to potential business members, or open a system where members can get a business loan by investing percentage of their retirement fund.
Now, that's a good question. I'll just refer members to the. In fact, that's one of the basic mandates or functions of the fund. What I'm holding now is the FNPF Act. And in terms of our purpose, one of our purposes when we go to 6E is to conduct and promote research into matters affecting retirement savings and post-retirement income, and likewise member education and advocacy. So it's a very basic function of the fund, financial literacy. So in fact, there's a team that's now, Sue had alluded to that. If any one of you wants the member and education advocacy team to come to you, to your workplace or to your villages, the FNPF team will make the relevant arrangements. It's important for people to get counsel. In fact, there are retirement tools available on our calculator, on our website, www.myfnpf.com. That will help you with your retirement planning, pension calculators and all of that. There are tools that are available to help you make those decisions. So for us at FNPF, that's one of our basic functions, and we are strengthening our team that will go out to carry out this member education and advocacy and counseling. In fact, we would want every member out there, not when he or she is reaching retirement, as or she starts work, for him to come and get advice from the FNPF. We want him to get exposed to the information and the advice that we give, because when they get exposed to it early, they take the relevant actions, they will benefit from the interest and the compounding impact of saving with FNPF. And I think this advice should go out to those of you that have children, grandchildren, go out there and tell them to increase their contributions to the FNPF.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of our question and answer session. I would like to thank and acknowledge the following: South Pacific Recordings for providing visual and sound, Boss Communication Agency for their live stream services, and the Fiji Association of the Deaf. I will now invite our CEO for his closing remarks, and we will close with prayer afterwards. Naka.
Yo vetorana tikin ngono binango mo waru na katakim ni kedana ni tu member namun ni adaro mai wambota ni tu talimagana sona kaya ngamun ni taka ni kua namun ni adaro mai singa binanga ni kua sa dor kana ni tu panu binak walu setale na wona binanga mana klo ni sile tu bikan rambula ni tu wanu ni na kotikim dolio stale namun ni lamakina namun ni bakalunga takatim namun ni lakulako I want to take this time also to thank all the members who have taken your time to be here. I know you've got other things to do today, but to be here, we are quite thankful. Again, re-emphasizing the purpose of the fund. The objective of the fund is very clear in the Act, which is Section 2, that is to accumulate sufficient saving for retirement. So we have sufficient income for retirement. That's the sole purpose of the FNPF fund. So you've noticed that the weight structure, the 70-30, was intentional. That was only started in year 2014. Imagine if it started way back, how much you've accumulated. FNPF is a evolving fund. It started off with 23 grounds of withdrawal. It changed to only 5 now. It changed from 50 or 60 to 60-40 to 30-70. So it will continue to evolve through time. And the sole purpose will always be in line with the objective of the fund. And I've mentioned also that FNPF is the biggest financial institution in the country, the strongest so far, the most profitable also. And our intention to invest is not only for Fiji, we should be seen as an enabler of economic activity. We've done it in Viti Levu, and we'll do it also in Bono Levu. We have gone offshore. We are in Papua New Guinea, as you mentioned, with BSP Bank. Vodafone is also moving into that space. It's one of the biggest opportunity for us. We also hold around 500 million in overseas investment. So not only in Papua New Guinea, but in Australia and New Zealand also. You will continue to see us evolving through time. With that word, I wish you well on your journey back, and God bless.
Thank you, CEO. Just a final reminder, we are providing FNPF services with our staff at the back, including card printing services. If you do not have a FNPF join card, you may get that done at the back. We'll just close with a prayer. Masu. Our Father in heaven, we approach you once again to thank you. Thank you for overseeing our program today. We thank you for the fruitful discussion with our members and our employers and our pensioners. As we return, we ask for travel's mercies. Please continue to bless our efforts and bless everyone present here today. We leave the rest of the day's activities in your hands, ourselves in your care, and this prayer in Jesus' name. Amen. Please, you can hand over your feedback form to any of the staff at the back. Naka. Well,